Hi. Every day I try to find things that are kind of ironic, uh, kind of scary, ghost stories, everything. But this is a newspaper that is dated May 26, 1873. Now, little to his knowledge, General Custer was going to be facing a real problem in just a couple of years. But today, he's writing about the scary part of not being able to bathe. Now, I think it was called Life on the Plains by George A. Custer in the May number of the Galaxy. Like I said, it was May 26th. And he's speaking about there's a beautiful stream named Bluff Creek running through the camp, which supplied bathing facilities for the officers and men, a privilege for which they had been unable to get. Whether to avoid some on a paint in the bed or in the stream where the water was fresh and saturated, or from a motive different from others of them, two of our young officers mounted their horses one day without saddles. Now, that was rare. They always had a saddle, and their horse was their lifeline. So they took the horse downstream about a mile and rode down the valley of the stream, perhaps a mile or more, to search for a proper bathing place. Now, they're all men, so they must be not afraid to get dressed, undressed or whatever. But I assume they have to find part of the creek that isn't fast moving, a place they can get down and into without any trouble. But they finally discover one that fit their taste. They dismounted, secured their horses, and after disposing of the material on the greenwood covering the banks, were more seen floating and floundering in the water like a pair of young porpoises. How long they had been enjoying the healthy provisions, they don't know. But it was necessary to the store. One of them happened to glance toward their horses and observed the latter of a state of great troublesome, hastening from the water to the bank. He discovered that the canine of the strange conduct of the part of the horse was nothing more than less than a party of about 30 Indian warriors mounted and stealthily making their way toward the bathing party. Now, oh goody. We all know what happened to General Custer, and they got themselves into a bind. They're nude, and their horses are tied. They don't have a mount, and I'm sure they're not armed. They're in the water, floating around, dancing around, kind of having a good time. So, quickly calling out to his companion, who was still in the water, unconscious of approaching danger, the one on the shore made haste to unfasten their horses and prepare for a fight. So, these guys thinking that they've got 30 or more Indians, they're going to have fun. Fortunately, Indians were now within a few hundred yards of the two officers and were coming from the direction opposite the camp, leaving the retreat for the officers open. No sooner did the warriors start to find their approach and discover that they were put their they were going to be into the best speed, hoping to capture the officers before the latter could have time to mount and get their horses under way. The two officers, in the meanwhile, were far from idle. No flesh brushes or bathing towels are required to restore a healthy circulation. No, it was time wasted in their attempts to make a toilet. If they had sought their bathing groom from motives of retirement or solidity, no such no such thing had been exhibited now. Now, I'm sorry, I'm reading from Old English, and it's sometimes a little, they were not exactly in the condition of fear of McFinty with making to wear, but all intents and purposes might as well have been so. They followed and ran at the risk of being located by the two of the riders might well be managed that of John open. Both of the officers would willingly go to retreat and hide with their apparel, their boots, and the shirt collar. They're worrying that they're going to be into trouble because they don't have their army uniform on, and the hideously painted and feathered savages were mounted in ahead, straining every severe and nerve, urging their horses to the highest speed in order that they could scalp the experienced horsemen might be added to the list of human trophies which they were known to have. Truly, this is one of the companions' personal experience of doing nothing, a man's head for a man's hat. As at least, though, was an immature Mazapaka as they came dashing toward the camp, over and around, causing anxious glances over their shoulders as their passengers, who despite their exertion and the furor, were surely overhauling the pale-faced brothers. Now, so we're talking, it's obviously not a good time between the white man and the Indian. I'm not going to go into who was right, who was wrong, but these two guys, they decided they were going to take a bath, and General Custer is very worried about it. The patrolling warriors knew that they were not likely to overtake, and so the two knights of the bath slackened their pace and took a seat in the valley across from them. A few moments later, the two officers were safe inside their own lines, where they lost no time making their way to the tents to attend to certain matters relating to their toilet, which the sudden appearance of the dusky visitor had prevented. It was a long time before they ceased to bear illusions made by the comrades of the cut and style of their riding skills. So here is General Custer out in the valley, and he's very near Little Bighorn by this point, and he is meeting Indians who are not in a friendly mood. Two guys tried to take a bath, and they learned their lesson. Never take a bath without a guard. Just a funny story.